Hi Connie, it's Will. Just going to have a quick look at this picture, see if I can explain myself a little bit better than I did my instructions on the email. Right, okay, so this is the one you sent me, and we need to change this lady's clothes to a different colour. So, as always, I tend to do a Command J or a Control J on the PC to make a copy layer. Now what I need to do is to create an adjustment layer with a solid fill. So this is the adjustment layers button here, as you probably know. Click on there and choose solid color. In this case I chose something like a turquoisey sort of picture for the sake of argument. So select here, click here, whatever sort of picture, sort of color you fancy. Click OK. This is now created as an adjustment layer with a mask. What we need to do in order to progress this so we can actually see through the layer and put it onto the clothes is change the blend mode from normal. In this case, I think soft light was what I was looking for. It doesn't look particularly marvellous, but let's press on. If we now select the layer mask, press D on the keyboard in order to get the black and white foreground background. So black is now our background. If it's the other way around, X will just swap them over, of course. With the layer mask selected, do a Control or Command Delete to fill that in with black. So we've got rid of the blue that we can see. And now you've got some options. Essentially, with the white selected as your foreground, select a brush. In this case, I want to make sure it's 100%. Pretty middling to soft sort of brush. And what you can do is simply come in here and brush this onto the clothes. Obviously, taking a little bit of care not to go over the dog or the edge or a skin or whatever. The other option here is that because you're just painting over the mask, is you could actually do a selection using, say, the pen tool and then fill it with white, and that would have the same effect there. And you could just trace around that. I'm not going to do the whole thing because it's pretty obvious what the situation there is. Have a play around with different blending modes. So you're clicking this layer here and change that maybe to overlay, and you can see that it has a slightly different effect. I'm going to go back to soft light. Now what I wanted to do is to be able to darken this down so the colour stands out a little bit more, but I only want to darken down the bits that I've filled in, if you will. So I appreciate I haven't actually masked out the whole thing just yet, but if we just assume we're worrying about this just here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the mask. I'm going to do an Alt click on the mask just to show the mask. I'm going to do a Control or Command A, followed by Control C to copy it, Command D to deselect. And then come back out again. I'm now going to go to the layer below. I'm going to create a layer mask. I'm going to do an Alt click on that. I'm going to do a Command or Control V to paste the mask I had here into this position here. Command or Control D to get out of that, and then just click on the pictures to bring us back. And now if I play around with this layer, it should only affect this blue area here. So for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Image Adjustment Curves, and I'm just going to darken it down by bringing that down. So as you can see, that starts to bring that down a bit like that. So you get the idea. You can also play around with the blend mode of this particular layer if you like. Maybe get an overlay or something like that, and see what it does. That clearly didn't have the desired effect or color or something. Just have a play around with what those different blend modes will do for you. Now, I had one I prepared earlier, sitting here, just to give you a better feel for it. And this is, you'll see, is the same sort of configuration as I showed you just here, but with more completed. Now the advantage of this is now if you double click on this layer, it brings this up, and so we can actually then play around with the color of the clothes to suit ourselves. So we can go do all manner of things to suit whatever it is we want to do. So that gives you the options to play around with those, and you know, as I say, you can change the colors and the hues and so on to suit yourself. The only other thing which wouldn't give you perhaps a better result in terms of the blue here showing through rather than using the brush would, I think, to use a pen tool. I don't know if you're familiar with using the pen tool. I assume you are, but what you need to do, if not, is go to Windows, make sure you have your paths clicked, or click on paths so you can see this path palette showing here. You then come down, select the pen tool, make sure you've got basically the path selection icon clicked, and you've got the pen tool clicked. I use auto add, but you know that depends on what you're trying to do. You need to zoom right into some crazy level. I'm at 600% here, and then you can essentially just click around here like this to form a path, if you will. Okay, I'm not doing a particularly clever job here, but I'll show you the sort of thing I mean. So for example, when I get to about here, I can see some curves, so I can jump to here. I do a left click there to create that. Now on the Mac I hold the command key down, on the PC I hold the control key. So hold the control key, do a left click at the same time, and then you can push this curve, so you can then create a curve. Same down here as well, so another click, control or command, and move again. And then you can go. This technique allows you to get to within 1 pixel accuracy. Okay, I messed up a little bit there, but it's just a demonstration to show you, of course. And I'll just complete a couple of more steps and you'll see what we do here. So if I just come down here a few more clickety clicks, and we'll see where we're going. I'll just make a bit of a hash of a brush job with it so you can see what what I mean. Now I'm going to back off a bit so I can see where I went. I'm going to come straight across here, straight up here, and if I zoom in you'll see that when I get to the last point, your little circle up here, can you see as I go over it? If I click on that, you've now created a path. So if I back off, you can probably barely see it to be honest, but there's a path around here. If I click on paths, we have a work path here. So with that selected, I can just click on the little icon here. That's now that's made it a selection which we can come back to, of course, as you know. Really, basically, what we're looking to do is fill that with white to allow this to show through. So make sure your background is white. So you know, it's whatever. And with that selected there, do a command or control delete, and that will fill that that selection with white. Allow that to show through, and now do a command D, and you'll see that we've got a somewhat more accurate selection than I could have done with the brush. So you know all that sort of crap, I guess. So I think that was about all I was going to say. The only other thing is, you remember you can drop whatever you like in here. You can put different types of pictures. See if I've got one I can just open and drop in to show you. Of course I won't be able to find one now that's going to work well for us. Just give me 2 seconds. I probably can't find anything. Okay, we'll go for some random type thing. That doesn't really matter what it is. This is a background thing that I created myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a Command A, Command C, or Control A, Control C to copy it. I know you can drag it in, but it's just a habit. I don't tend to do it that way. Pop it in here, and then you can do a paste, obviously with the Control V. I'm just going to move this around a little bit. I'd like it to cover all of her address. Let's in this case transform it and rotate it. So it's going to go over there. That sort of does the job, I guess. Now then, what we need to do is create a layer mask to just have that showing through. So I'm going to, with this with the Alt key held, I'm going to click on layer mask in there. That obviously, as you know, blocks it out. Now, rather than just trying to copy this through this original one I made here, I'm going to go back to my paths tool. Which I'm not going to go by my path tool because I've gone and done something here. What have I done to the path tool? Oh, I've already put my path tool in here. Not to worry. If I had that path, I could just select it and we'd be good, and we could just apply white to it. Sorry, my mistake. However, what I will do then is I'll do the Alt click on this particular layer mask. I will do a Command A to select it, or Command C to copy it, and Command D to deselect. You don't have to do the Command D, of course, as you know. And they're going to go to this layer mask and do an Alt click to select it, and then a Command V to paste it, Command D to deselect, and come out. And now you can see that this bit here is now showing through. Obviously in normal mode it looks a bit crazy, so if I change my blend mode to say soft light and turn this one off perhaps, and then it's not particularly dramatic, this one, as you can see. It's not doing much for it, is it? But you can see essentially, look, you can see that you can put any picture you like in here to have it show through, and you can play around with that. So anyway, I think that hopefully gives you the idea of what I was talking about. Let me know if there's any issues, and we'll see what else we can do. Cheers.